Hey everyone, a little bit of a hiccup in the getting people into the group here. How's it going?
No worries.
I thought I had it set to auto join. So
Yeah, you didn't realize we're all waiting in the lobby. Hi, Chris. Nice to
oh,
see you. It's been
yeah, likewise.
ages.
Hey everyone, can everyone hear me? Someone say yes.
I can hear you. Anyone else?
Cool. Just taking out the headphones.
Mhm.
Sorry everyone, I thought this was
Okay.
auto join. Sorry about that. 1 second. We can get started quickly. Okay, folks. So the way I've organized this is to talk about AI and Chat GPT just kind of quickly around kind of what it does and how to use it for different purposes as a search engine, as a story writing tool, and then we'll get into using it to create copy. And then a little bit about putting that copy into SEO optimization tools for like super optimized web content. Get into a little bit about using AI to create images. And then we'll kind of wrap it up with getting the AI to write some code for a website. Kind of a grassrootsy kind of vibe. This is a response just from a lot of family and friends and clients saying, hey, like how do you actually get this stuff working to make stuff? I'm just in our office down in Toronto and Leslieville. There's a few people around here. You might hear some background noise. There's kind of 4 main sections. I'll go through things fairly quickly, but then stop at the end of each section and answer any questions from people with their hands up. That hands up icon thing is down right in the middle, in the lower part, for those folks not really familiar with Google Meets. And there's a chat area on the side as well. Hello. If you have any questions, just pop them down there. Just so everyone knows, I'm recording this so I can share it with everyone and other people afterwards. So I am going to jump right into things here and share my browser. So 1 sec. Let's see here. Okay, so we are going to start with just showing you the general interface for ChatGPT. I have a Chrome extension that turns us into web chat GPT that adds a few other features and functions, but it essentially will function the same way for our purposes. But so 1 second, just making sure everyone can see my screen when I had the Chat GPT window open there. You can find this by just typing in chat.openai.com, and that will take you, just go through this process, right into the chat engine. So first of all, this is a natural language processing tool. So you speak to the submit area down here, or you write in it just as if you would be asking a question to a friend or someone else. I have a few prompts written down here already, but the main or a main feature of ChatGPT is to use it as a search engine. A little bit of the theme today is around dim sum, because we're about to go for lunch after this. But as you would in a browser, let's say I would like to tell me something about dim sum. It'll think for a while, and the servers have been a little bit taxed lately, but it is going to tell me some stuff that I want to know about dim sum. What I'm going to do next, kind of staying on this theme, is I'm going to behave as if I own a small dim sum restaurant and I want to create a post on my website. But what might be cool is if we had a joke about dim sum. So we can ask ChatGPT to tell us a joke. Tell me a joke about dim sum. And this is one of the funny things about using this tool, because you can just ask it things and it will give you funny one-liners back. But to move forward and start the process of writing some web-worthy content. First of all, I'd like to have GPT write basically an article or a blog outline on the topic of dim sum. There'll be a little pause in between as chat writes out its answers, but we'll just kind of watch things unfold here. So this is a key prompt, asking it to write an outline of something because it will give you further information to expand on afterwards to create your post or article. So right now I'm getting a really nice article outline on everything pretty much to do with dim sum. Favorite topic of mine. Now, invariably, there may be some information that was not included in this article, and I'd like to cover all my bases. So there's a great prompt, and that is to ask chat to let me know if there's any semantically related topics that are missing from this article outline. So this is really great, and it's essentially tapping into two interesting things. One, it knows what it said to you before and is now kind of querying itself for other related bits of information. And two, this is really a chat in that it remembers all of the information that it shared with you on this thread. So we can relate back to other parts of this thread without starting over. So if you notice on the left-hand side of the screen, there's a bunch of different chats that I've had going on, and those are called chats because the system remembers everything it spoke about within that thread. So here's more information that I can add to my most amazing dim sum article. So if I'm generally, I kind of follow the same workflow all the time, where I would like to create maybe a catchy SEO optimized title for this article. So I don't need to refer to it as this dim sum article anymore. I can just simply say or type in, write 3 catchy SEO keyword optimized titles for this article. And I'll pick one of those from my article, and it's going to just write some most amazing stuff here. All right, so I think I will call mine Uncovering the Delights of Dim Sum, a Guide to Chinese Cuisine's Most Popular Dish. Pretty amazing. So now I have a catchy title. I have an outline. And what I would then do is I would simply use the phrase, and there's many ways to prompt chat. I kind of like the prompt of provide more detail about, and then I'll grab the outline titles that I have here about the definition of dim sum. So it will go on and give me a paragraph or two of detailed information on the article's chapters, essentially. So I won't go through all of them because I'm assuming you get the gist of this. I'll just let this guy finish. So typically what I would do is go back and ask chat to provide more detail on all of the chapters of my article. I may or may not include some of these semantically related topics because it adds a little bit of flair and it's a little bit of a deeper dive. And then just as a bonus, I really like the prompt on an FAQ. So what I would do to wrap this up is I would just ask chat to write a dim sum FAQ, which is great for SEO and also adds a little bit more variety to the copy on my blog post or article. I'll just let this finish. I'll just pause for a moment and let everyone enjoy this amazing output. Okay, so this is going to go on and provide me with a full FAQ. And at this point, I have all of the core content for what will be around a 2,500 word article. And just at this point, I'm just going to do a quick stop for a moment and maybe answer some questions, or I don't know, can I explain anything better up to the point where we are right now? Dave, what's up?
One of the questions my team has, and certainly I have as well, is what practices or recommendations do you have in terms of proofing against incorrect content? Because that's certainly one of the big concerns with ChatGPT is garbage in, garbage out. What's it ingested?
Yeah, for sure. And then it's a whole other dedicated topic around ethics, management, best practices, governance, and that kind of stuff, which is going to be a role or a policy in every organization shortly. And it's really worthwhile spending time chatting about it. Our workflow is to conceptualize AI as starting points, idea generators. We take it through kind of 3 steps. So we'll go from here, we'll move what will be the next topic, moving it into an SEO optimization tool. And during the SEO optimization, we're also editing. So we've got 2 checks on plagiarism. 1, chat's not plagiarizing. However, there's at some point in time, there could be overlap that's close enough to be plagiaristic.
Yeah.
We'll run it through Surfer, which will also do a plagiarizing check. I'm going to show that next as kind of the next natural process of moving this into a post. Anyone else have any questions? I'm also, this is only the second time I've done this, so I want to make sure I'm not going too fast or too slow, or that I am explaining things well. Okay, so what we'll do next, so take 5 minutes or so and just go through the process of moving AI generated content into a content editor that's giving me SEO optimization feedback. So 1 second. Okay, the tool that we use is called Surfer SEO. I have created an optimization environment for a new post that is going to have the main theme of dim sum. I'm optimizing it against Google Canada. I have a lot of options there. The first thing I do is I take a look at the competition that's ranking on the first page of Google with the keyword dim sum. And we could have more long tail keywords and do a lot more research, but keeping it quite simple. We have Wikipedia, which I'm not going to compete against, with a domain authority of 9 and a content score of 84. However, next up here, we've got the Asia Society. The content score is only 64, but pretty high domain authority. Probably not going to win against that. This guy does look like someone that we can compete well against. By turning these competitors on or off, it's going to adjust how I tweak my content to rank above the competitors that I've indicated here. So it looks like this is actually sort of easy pickings for 3-4. Gonna have a tricky time against BlogTO, but what the heck. So that's saving that information. That's now updated the structure of the post as far as how many words I want to write against competitors, how many headings to use, paragraphs, images. And right now I have a score of basically 0 because I have no content here. Down below are the key phrases that Surfer's plucked out of competitors and is giving me a guide to write against that to improve the overall content score. We generally shoot for kind of 85 to 90-ish. We don't want to over-optimize the content, so we're kind of dancing with Google. Ultimately, we want to make sure we're providing good value and information to people. That's kind of what Google cares about most. We do have an opportunity right within Surfer here to have it help us with some titles and headlines as well, and different questions to ask if we need some kind of content starters. But I'm just going to rely on AI content right now and use the general guidelines. So what we'll do is we'll kind of pop back up here. Sorry about your eyes. So we're going to take kind of an intro paragraph here. Come on. There's our intro. And then we'll take our, let's see, we've got our first part here is the definition of dim sum, which I'm going to grab from right here. And you'll quickly see the workflow that I'm going through. Definition of dim sum. Pop that down here. Give this an H2 tag. Cool. And you can see we're slowly upping our score. I would follow that same process and build out our entire post, maybe end it with an FAQ. I would update this a little bit because I'm trying to promote Joe's Dim Sum restaurant. So I'd make sure that we're kind of referring back to our business. The way this stuff works over here is it's telling me that I haven't used any of the key phrases dim sum restaurant. So somewhere in here, and of course I would think about this a lot more carefully, but if I type in, go to our dim sum, see it's kind of prompted me over there as well. Cool. We now have another score here that we've kind of completed the amount of uses of dim sum restaurant. Our score is up to 23. By the time I put all that copy in, did some massaging around key phrases, made it a little bit more personalized with tone and voice, which would probably take me about 30 minutes or so, I'd end up with a score of somewhere around, I don't know, so I'd say 75 to 90. We then take this, add the right amount of images, and I'm going to get to that next using AI to create some cool creative stuff. And then we'd post that on our blog or website. So that is a super quick version of using an optimization tool in conjunction with an AI copywriting tool, of which Surfer will do a little bit. This Surfer also connects with Jasper AI, which is a similar AI creation tool that basically queries the internet for information and writes content against it. Cool. I'm going to leave that at that. Swing back over here. Say hi to everyone. Any questions about kind of the progression to this next step of optimizing copy? Pretty cool.
I have a question. So
Yeah.
the prompts that you were getting for SEO optimization, search engine optimization at the bottom right, how relevant do you feel they are? Because Google may, or that software may pick up like 1,000 phrases, but you cannot add all those phrases. And how much seriously you should worry about the phrases that are down the line or somewhere in the middle?
Yeah. So we use these tools, I guess, to get us what we would call 80% perfect. And then just as a concept, we want to leave 20% of the experience with our copy content, overall experience in our spirit. Like we'll go back and probably rewrite an intro and for sure an ending paragraph that's just in our tone and voice. We'll just go through everything and make sure, because what AI seems to do a fair amount is copy the same concept over and over again. So you want to watch out for that. But it's all an experiment, and it's not until you move your post onto your website and let it season for a month or two and watch the rankings change that you really know if you've done a good job. And I think the litmus test is if you get friends and family to read your post, do they feel like they've learned something new and you provided value to them? So that's ultimately what we're trying to do as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Can
I'm
these
gonna switch
tools-
over.
Can these tools work in another language?
Yeah, really good question. So let me just show you what I was experimenting with just a little bit yesterday. One sec. So they're not native in I guess all the regular other languages, but I was playing with my friends in Cambodia. Unfortunately, what's really happening is these tools aren't available in the original countries of many other languages. But I asked it to, tell me a joke in Cambodian. Actually,
Didn't want to give myself away here, but I was thinking French. Yeah.
okay, cool. I was trying to push this thing. We did say, tell me a story about a bird in Cambodian. And it was actually giving us. Yeah, it's weird. Yesterday we were actually getting, and I was using that specifically because the characters are different as well. Actually, here I can show you this from yesterday or a couple of days ago. So this was, it did give us a short story in Khmer of a story about a bird. It was a bit wacky when you translate it, but it was a story about a bird. So it's getting there. Let's try in French.
Yeah, my team has done stuff in Hindi and French
Cool.
successfully.
Cool. Yeah, but maybe I can just say, tell me about dim sum in French in one paragraph. Yeah, so it's getting there. Pretty cool.
This is beyond cool.
Yeah, it is pretty neat, and lots of fun. Okay, I'm just going to take us on a different journey here and quickly go through how to make stuff using some different AI environments. I'm going to use Midjourney, which generates AI creative off a Discord server. Maybe just hands up, anyone not familiar with Discord? So just give me an idea of how well I should explain this. Okay. Okay, so Discord, I guess, is best described as a chat server that also allows for real-time verbal chat too through headphones. So it's a major platform for gamers. While you're playing your game, you're also on that game's Discord server, and down below you can turn on the headphone feature and the mute and unmute, so you can have real-time chat. So if you're playing like a first-person shooter and you're on your team's server, you're kind of communicating like, oh, go hide down there in the corner and I'm going to come around and get this guy or whatever that is. However, it's also very unique in that Discord can integrate into other systems through APIs, and that's what you're seeing in front of you. I'm on a Discord server called Midjourney, which is a contextual creative AI bot, where we can, in a text type of format, tell this tool to create cool stuff for us. What you're seeing is a thread, as if we were in a chat, of a whole bunch of people around the world typing in key phrases to create stuff. And what you're getting is the outputs of their what they're asking this thing to create. The way this works is we're going to tell it to create some stuff, and it's going to spit out 4 stylized images of which we can upscale or we can create variants of.
Excuse me, Chris. Sorry, one of my colleagues got booted out. Can you let her in? She's waiting.
Yeah. 1 second. I don't actually see where the let people in part is. 1 second. Maybe if I stop presenting. I don't see anyone waiting. Can you ask them to re-come in?
Yeah, I'm just gonna chat her.
Yeah, no problem.
Re-come in. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, that's all right. Maybe I'll just explain. If you do want to sign up for Midjourney on a Discord server, go to Discord online, just type into Google Discord server, register, download the app. The app works on both your mobile devices and desktops. And then when you're, actually, I'll show everyone this. When you're on Discord, I'll show you how to find Midjourney. Hey, Rebecca. Yes. I see your hand is up, and I would love to answer your question. Hey, Rebecca.
Hi, quick question. Do you have to source your images out of Midjourney, or are they considered yours?
They are considered yours, and it's pretty cool. You are also given a seed ID in case you want to go back and have it reference that unique ID for the source of what it used to create your image. And I'll get right there too. Cool. So let's move on to this next adventure here, where so when you're in Discord, if you want to find Midjourney, you go over here to explore public servers, and Midjourney will come up. 8.3 million people using it right now. And then you just click on it and join that server. There's other servers that are creating AI as well. You can also do it just strictly out of a web interface. I just happen to like what Midjourney is doing right now. And they have a ton of really amazing prompts for crafting the vibe and spirit of the image. So I'm just going to go over to Midjourney here and create some images. So first of all, I wanted to create a logo for Joe's Dim Sum Restaurant here. So you go to a newbie channel. This is where the creation activity happens. One small pain in the butt part is that because this is in a kind of a chat format, there's a little bit of scrolling going on. So just sorry for your eyes if it becomes a little bit annoying. So basically you type in a prompt, imagine, and a prompt, and I've just kind of got this pre-ready to go. I want a beautiful logo for a futuristic dim sum restaurant with green and red in it, dim sum, photorealistic, and a bit of a Modrian vibe. These little attributes, I want to use version 4 of Midjourney and stylize it 500, which is a number out of 1,000, which kind of tells it how creative to get, I guess is a good way to put it. Okay, so let's just see here. This is going to move up as the chats keep rolling in. So this is where the scrolling part might be a little bit annoying, but we can see here that it's at 0%. It takes about a minute, and I'll just kind of let this go and be quiet for a while, and we can kind of look at some other stuff going on while this processes. But if you look up here in these white bolded fonts, this is the copy other folks are putting in to get an unexpected output of something creative. And here we can see our beautiful logo for futuristic dim sum restaurant is processing. Okay, cool. So that is complete. I'll send that to myself. And then I'm going to take a look at these, and these may or may not be something we like. If there is kind of a direction that was presented, we can create more variants. So I kind of like what's going on down here in area 3 here. So I'm going to ask for a bunch of variants on this third guy here. We're going to be down here. That's already starting creating variations. All right, so here we go. We have 4 interesting little logo styles based on that one vibe. I'll kind of keep this off to the side. I'm just going to send this to myself so I have it for later. And now I want a kind of a creative direction for maybe an e-commerce delivery app for Joe's Dim Sum Restaurant. So I am just going to prompt this and tell it to make a beautiful e-commerce app for a futuristic dim sum restaurant. Green, red. I'll take the Modrian at this time. And we will, I don't need it to stylize. I'm just going to see what it does all by itself. And I'm just going to add some other keywords in here, UX, UI. Maybe we want a form on that page and a, I don't know, hero image and a website. Let's let this guy go here. Alrighty, and you can see what other people are doing. They're kind of playing with different variations of settings. There's a little bit more lighting on this version versus down here, but this is, again, all AI generated. Here's some creative direction for our cool dim sum restaurant. Awesome, awesome. So here's the first stab at creative direction for Joe's Dim Sum Restaurant. Kind of really liking this guy in the corner here. Maybe I'll just have it do a variant on number 3 again. Looking pretty cool. So at Dot Fusion, we've adopted AI as part of our toolkit for very root idea generation. So we might as well, you know, have 20 really interesting ideas that, you know, the humans around here just didn't come up with. And then we kind of take little bits and pieces from what we're being kind of prompted to from a kind of creative idea perspective. And then we kind of add on our own personality, or sometimes we just don't like anything AI is producing, but it is definitely part of our toolkit. So really beautiful design direction. We can kind of pick up on this and add this concept to a website, or we can ask AI to build out, give me a category landing page or a product page, etc. I'll just save that and get this out of the way. Send this to myself and move this guy. Get back to our meeting, stop presenting, and answer some questions. Yeah, any questions or ideas or feedback or discussion around making things?
My question is, where can I learn how to do this?
Just ping me. I didn't know how much time I have in an hour to go through to how do you actually get onto these servers, but maybe we do have a little bit of time. I'll just do this 1 second. Just a crash course on getting onto a Discord server. I think it's just so much fun making stuff with this stuff. Let's say we want to go to Discord, and then we would go here. You would sign up. So you could download the application I was using for your computer, sign in, go back to Discord. After you sign in, you won't have any channels over here on the upper left-hand side. Click on this little navigation thing. We're also recording this, so I'll share this video with everyone. Click on here, go to Midjourney, sign up for that server. So basically, when you click on it, you're on the server. There's when you get there, you will land on the rules page, and I think getting started. It basically says, you know, here's the house rules. Reload your Discord browser, and then you'll see these newcomer rooms. And these are the places where you would just enter random text describing what you want this thing to make for you. That was a really quick version of answering a question. Okay, so last part of all of this is just a quick highlights of how to use chat to write code. So let's just say we'll stay on this chat. We can ask chat to please write the HTML. I also use and inline CSS. If you don't specify inline CMS and just tell it to create a website for you, it'll separate the HTML and the CSS, which just kind of means you need to link two things together. So it's a bit easier to have the CSS inline. So please write the HTML and inline CSS for a one-page website promoting Joe's Dim Sum restaurant. Include a hero image, a email data collection form, and let's say 2 areas for body copy. Okay, cool. That is not what I was expecting. 1 second. I think my web chat might be messing things up here, so 1 sec. Let's try this again. Write the code for our website with a hero image for a one page. So the hero image and email production form. Okay, so that is, there's something very interesting going on here. Here is normally what happens. So I just wrote in, write the code for a one-page website that provides a UX design agency, that promotes a UX design agency, and includes a form to capture an email address and a carousel with 3 images. And it will write out the code. So I don't
Chris, I'm not sure if you're
not sharing your
wanting
screen
to share
right
your
now.
screen, yeah.
Oh, sorry, folks. Sorry, folks. One sec. Thank you for the heads up. That is not exactly the most helpful thing if I'm not doing that. Okay, so where I was is back in chat. Seems the server is behaving a little bit funny because typically if we ask it to write the code, write the code maybe for a website for Joe's Dim Sum that has a hero image and an email collection form. No, we don't want that. Okay. So what should happen is, here's an example of that. So yesterday, when we asked it to write the code for a one-page website that promotes a design agency with a form and an email, it actually wrote out all the HTML and the CMS. I will get back to you on why or what has changed. I don't think we're doing anything differently, but I will give it one more try and a reload here. And let's see what's going on. And 1 sec. There we go. I don't know if I I had the chat overlay going and didn't wipe it out of the cache. But once I reloaded, it looks like we're going strong now. So I think I won't go through all of this because it'll take a few minutes, but this will write out the entire HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. To get a little bit more advanced, we could ask it to write out just the JavaScript for a 5-image carousel that has each image fade in as it rotates through the carousel or something along those lines. The code can be copied directly as plain text, put it into a code editor. You just simply replace, your images and your body copy. Although it did prompt some body copy in here already. And in this case, I had the CSS separated from the HTML. And yeah, that's how that works. So the more specific you ask it to write the code, the more complex it'll be. Maybe I'll just ask it to write the JavaScript to create a, I don't know, a ball that moves from left to right on the screen. Here it's writing the JavaScript for the carousel. Above, in this example, I had asked it to build me a website with a carousel with 3 images. So it wrote the HTML, the CSS, and now it's writing the JavaScript library or documentation for that carousel. So I'll save going through that. So yeah, there is an example of using GPT to write code. So you have your copy, you have your images, you can pick your images out of the AI creation tool using Photoshop or Figma or something, name them appropriately, get chat to write out all the code you need for your website, tell it, just refer it back to the images that you've created, and you can essentially have a robot-driven digital experience. That is all for today. But we have some time for questions, and I'm also available to anyone just personally to rap about this stuff because we're having so much fun with it and spending our time figuring out how we can be valuable in helping organizations implement this stuff into their normal workflows. Yeah. I'll just leave things open if anyone wants to just shout out a question or an idea or what you think about all of this. If not, we'll gracefully fade out into the sunset.
One thing I wanted to share with the team was one of the things that I found really helpful with is some of the specificity you can have when you ask it to write. So like a great example is you have this long post or whatever, and you need a tweet about it, or you've been in a conversation, you've written a blog post and you want a social post for a particular network or audience. It'll tailor the language to the character count, the audience, if you can specify it well enough. It's been super helpful. I can't hear anyone.
Yeah, Chris, you're on mute, bud.
Sorry, guys. I was just picking up on what Dave was saying there. We just asked it to create a tweet promoting Joe's. And I didn't need to say Joe's Dim Sum Restaurant. It kind of knew what we had been talking about.
Yeah, it's super, super helpful. Stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Or we can just say create, 20 Google AdWords headlines for Joe's.
Oh, that's a good way. And then you can pick. I like that methodology where you curate from options.
So this is the real time saver, because you can spend hours tinkering around with these things or just dead end really quickly. Like my brain can maybe come up with 3 interesting things in half an hour, Maybe there's one other thing. We've got just a few minutes left. There's a whole other tool that is worth mentioning if we have a little bit of time. And that is Jasper AI. We've been using this guy for at least a year now, but we're using ChatGPT right now. It's kind of based off a similar engine. But what it does really well is it gives you all of these templates where, you know, if we need some AI content for an Amazon product feature, a blog post outline, a company bio, a content improver. So if we use the content improver, we go here and we say we've got, sorry guys, I know I'm running around here, but if we take one little idea, like this guy here, we can go and tell it to improve that and make it a funny tone of voice. What happened? I'm just going to create 3 variants. So it's taking this, improving it, and creating 3 variants with a humorous kind of vibe. So we in our past we've been using Jasper and then moving into Surfer, simply because this is also a pretty powerful tool, and it helps maybe junior writers too with its templating structure, like Google Ad headlines. You can do the same thing with GPT as well, but this kind of helps a little bit. Yeah. Cool. Happy to rebound ideas with anyone or have conversations. We're all heading down to the Real Jerk at Gerard and Carla now for some Jamaican food. If anyone's close by, come and join in every Friday.
Thanks so much, Chris. Great.
You got it. Thanks
Great-
everyone
great,
for joining.
great
And
webinar.
yeah, I'm always happy to chat about anything to do with stuff that's interesting.
Thanks, Chris. This has been amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, and I
can't
can
wait.
expand on
Very
that
insightful.
personally anytime.
Much appreciated.
Cool, gang. Okay. Have a
Will you
wonderful
send out
Friday.
the link?
Yes. As soon as the video is processed, I'll reply to everyone with it.
Fantastic.
Amazing.
Cheers.
Okay.
Thanks,
peace
guys.
out. Bye, guys.
Have a great weekend.
Hey, thanks.
Thanks, Chris.